Hello friends, in this video we are going to discuss about the Java language fundamentals and its advantages. To keep things simple, Java is just a programming language which is used to develop various applications such as J2EE, J2SE and J2ME. Let us all try to understand what are these three kinds of applications. First, let us discuss about the J2SE, which stands for Java Standard Edition. If you have ever come across Photoshop, CorelDRAW and so on, these are some of the applications which needs to be installed in each system, right? If somebody wants to work with it, then this applications has to be installed in each and every system. Have you ever accessed Photoshop on the web? No, right? We need to install it in each and every system. But to get the exact difference of JEE, which stands for Enterprise Edition, first let us try and understand what do you mean by an enterprise. An organization which is bigger in numbers is basically called as an enterprise, right? To take up an example, to differentiate between Standard Edition and Enterprise Edition, I'll take up an example of Toyota or Maruti Udyog. As you people are aware, I'm just taking up that example. If the owner of it, or let us assume like this, if a customer from Toyota comes to my company and if he asks me to develop an application to basically maintain the inventory and figure out the day-to-day transaction which is happening across the world, what are we going to develop? Can I develop a standalone application for him such as Photoshop or CorelDRAW, or basically which is an installable for him? Okay, let's assume that I have developed a installable for him. What would happen? To figure out the transaction across the world, he has to reach to those places and then figure out what's happening. So better than that, what I'll do is I can develop a web application so that he can sit in a common place and figure out what is happening across the world about his company and what needs to be done for day-to-day basis for for a particular plant of his company, right? I'll not be able to develop a standalone application for him, right? Let's assume if we develop a standalone app to the organization, what would happen? The chairman needs to come to every damn corner to figure out the transaction. That's what we discussed, and that's not a feasible solution also, right? So I would always suggest to develop a web application. So that's when the need came up for a web application, for an enterprise level application. So people wanted to be accessed each and everywhere without any installation through a browser, basically. Have you ever tried to install Gmail or Facebook? No, right? We never did that. It was easily accessible through the browser. But don't ever think that standalone application is outdated. Yes, we need standalone application because some of the rich clients, some of the tasks can be only completed through a standalone application such as Tally, Microsoft Word. Although there are web versions of Microsoft Word and Photoshop all together, but if you are editing a huge file, or if you are doing a video editing, or if you are creating an animation using Flash or 3ds Max and all, you will not be able to do it using the web. There are some limitations, advantages and disadvantages of both the things. We need to consider that when we are developing an application. Okay, that's the basic difference between the standalone application and an enterprise level application. Okay, let us pack these two things and let us also discuss about something called as J2ME, which basically stands for micro edition, but nowadays people have started calling it as mobile edition also, because the reason is basically nowadays most of the things are in mobile itself, and everybody have started using mobile, and that's how the name commonly they call it as mobile edition, but it actually stands for micro edition. Not only for mobiles, nowadays people are creating for watches, camera. There are many other things. If at all you see, if you are aware of something called as Internet of Things, in the near future, most of the devices would be connected to internet, and every device would be interacting to each other. So again, there would be an app installed in every device to either to control the same device, or that device can control some other device. So basically there are apps which can be developed for those applications, also for those devices also. But to summarize these things, right, what I can say is, Java, we started off with understanding what is Java, right? Java is just a programming language. The first statement what I said, what we discussed was Java is just a programming language. But this programming language gives you the platform to develop multiple different applications. That is J2SE, J2ME, and JEE. So you basically understood the difference between J2SE, J2ME, and J2EE, right? That's the basic thing. Okay, there are more to discuss. We'll discuss about all those things in the further classes. But if you think of it, right, why Java is so popular? Why is the Java so popular? Is it because there are many various reasons why Java is so popular, but what I have figured out is Java is very popular only because of main two reasons, that is platform independency and security. Although other programming languages also has the same feature, but compared to other things, Java is somewhere in the advanced level in because of these two reasons. Let us try to understand why Java is so popular, and why, because of these two reasons why Java is so popular, with the help of a simple program. As you are seeing on the screen, there's some program which is written in the Java language. Any program in language would be having the starting point of execution. In Java also we do have the starting point of execution, which is called as the main method. And the main method has some syntax, and we need to follow that syntax as public static void main. Inside the parameter, inside the parameters, you need to set string arguments itself. For now, you just follow whatever is written, and to remember, to basically remind you that Java is case sensitive language. Just keep this in the mind. Java is a case sensitive language. Anything I write in Java should be encapsulated something inside a class. When I say encapsulated, I forgot to tell you that Java object oriented programming language. We are going to discuss about all those things in the further sessions. For now, you just try to understand the simplest program what we can write in the Java, with the output called as hello world. So this is the most simplest program what I'll be able to write, which has something called as the output hello world. Now I have just composed the program. I have still not got the output. If I want to get the output, what I need to do is I need to compile and run the program. There are two steps involved here. First thing is to compose, that is to write down the program. Then I have to compile and run the program. For compilation, I'll be taking the help of a command called as javac. For running the program, I'll be taking the help of a command called as java. Let's go ahead and compile the program itself. What happens if I compile the program? How would I compile the program? It's pretty simple. Just go ahead, go to the command prompt, and go to the particular folder wherever you have saved it. I have saved it in the G drive, and in the folder called as Java batch. So once you see the program called as Java batch, what you can do is use the command called as javac and then say example.java. What happens is the compilation output would be example.class. Okay, so what would have happened here is, if you go ahead to the drive, you would be seeing inside this there is a example.class file which has been generated. Now if I open up this in the notepad file, see, this is basically the content of this is basically a bytecode, and this bytecode will not be understood by any other programming language or any other software apart from the software called as JVM. JVM actually stands for Java Virtual Machine. Coming back to the program, so basically there are two steps involved: compiling and running the program. Before that, we have composed the program as example class example public static void main string x. Whatever I have written inside the main method would have been executed, but right now we have not yet executed. What we have done is basically we have compiled the program and generated a .las file. Let me undo that. Go to the Java patch, delete the class file, compile the program again. What happens is one more file would be created called as example.class. So now after compiling this, I need to get the output of this program. What should I do to get the output of this program? I already told this .las file, the content of this is something but the bytecode, and this bytecode can be understood by only one software called as JVM. What I need to do is I need to load this .las file into the JVM. To load the .las file into the JVM, I need to use one more command called as java example. Note here, you are not supposed to specify the .las extension. For running the for compiling the program, you need to specify the extension as the file name, that is example.java. But for running the program, you no need to specify it. Just say it as java example, and the output has been generated. So cheers, your first output of hello world has been available. But there is lot more work done by the Sun people. Right now it's the Oracle team which is doing it. Behind this, what they have done is basically they have loaded the .las file into the JVM. When I say the command called as java example, the .las file called as example.las file has been loaded into the JVM. Once the JVM has been once the .las file has been loaded into JVM, it will be looking out for the main method. If the main method is available, it is going to search execute the things inside the main method. If it doesn't find the main method with string args, it is going to throw you an error. We'll see what is that error and all in the later stages. We'll execute and see those programs, but for now, if the main method is not available, it is going to throw you an error. To remember here, there are two things to remember. For the compilation, we are using the command called as javac along with the file name. The file name is basically example.java. Okay, and to remember, so what you can understand here is, to run a program, what do I need exactly? I need JVM, right? I can also say wherever I have the JVM, I'll be able to execute the Java program irrespective of the compiler, because the compiler output is the .las file. Once the compilation output is done, I don't need the Java program at all. I can carry this .las file into some other platform or some other operating system. I can load that .las file. What will happen? If the JVM is able to recognize this .las file and execute it, I don't need the Java file at all. So that is how Java achieves platform independency. Java is basically not platform independent. Java achieves platform independency through JVM. And Java also achieves one level of security through the .las file itself. There's this bytecode which has been generated from the compilation, from the compiler, JavaC compiler, will not be able to understand, you will not be able to decode this .las file through any other thing from apart from JVM. Or basically, none other program will be able to understand this. It's only the JVM which will be able to understand the bytecode. So Java achieves platform independency and security through these things. So this is where Java takes the upper hand from any other programming language apart from C, C++, Python. These are the main reasons why Java achieves platform independency. Do you have any questions? Okay. Now, as we discussed, Java is not platform independent. Why Java is not platform independent? Because it is dependent on JVM. Now, if you try to download basically where are this JDK file? JavaC and Java files. It's available in the JDK. Now, if you try and download the development kit, that is JDK, Java development kit from the Oracle, or earlier it was Sun. What happens is, the file JDK, when you are trying to download, it is going to ask you an option whether you need the JDK for Windows or Linux or Solaris. It is going to ask give you a option. So there are different variants of or different versions of JDK. But once the JDK has been installed and the JVM has been available in each and every system, you can carry your .las file and you will be able to run the program. That is how Java achieves platform independency. And again, to make a note, the class name and the file name is not always necessary to be same. See, if you observe here, I am just naming this as class example123 and I am trying to compile and run the program. So the compilation output would be something like this. Compilation output will be example123. Let me go ahead and make this as hello world 123. I'll save the program and I'll run the program again. When I run the I'll just not run the program. To run the program, I need to use a command called as Java example. Once I run the program, it is going to give me something called as hello world. But if I say 123, what will happen is it is going to give me the output called as, because the content of the example 123 class file is hello world 123. The content of example is hello world. So basically here what I'm trying to make you people understand is Java file name and class name, it's not necessary to be same. It can be different. When you are compiling, it needs the file name. When you are running, it needs the class name. But as a convention across the world, Java developers are following class name and file name same, because to avoid the confusion. But it can be different. That's one point what you people need to make a note. That's it. Thank you guys for watching the video.